My headset's someplace else. Who knows where it is?
All right. Welcome back to Marnie's Marketing Monday. Today we're going to be talking about challenges, doing like 30-day, 60-day, 90-day challenges, stuff like that. And I just started my Light the World 90-day challenge again for this year, as y'all know. And so I thought I would just show you what I'm doing, just kind of give you the behind the scenes look at what I'm doing. And then if you wanted to do your own challenge of some kind, it wouldn't have to be the whole 90 days like I'm doing. You might do a 15-day challenge or a 40-day challenge. Donna, I think your thing's a 40-day. However you want to do it. So I'm going to share my screen. I've got a couple notes. Let me go back over. Let me close that. Sorry, my mouse is glitchy. All right, so the first thing that I would recommend doing is just kind of deciding some things that you need to know, like what's your theme going to be? What's the theme for your challenge? And like Donna, you've already got an idea for a 40-day thing. Each of you might come up with something that dovetails really nicely with your core message. And I would say keep it simple. Whatever the person's going to have to do, keep it simple. Like last year, I did the thing where I wanted them to pray about one thing they can do to light the world, to do it, and then I was wanting them to do Facebook Lives or post to social media or whatever. So this year, I didn't tell them they didn't have to do that or whatever. It's like that's an option to do the social media piece of it. But I think some people just didn't do it at all last year because they thought, well, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not on social media all the time. I'm not going to do this or whatever. So this year I asked them maybe to keep it in a journal, or actually I presented it with like a phase one. Phase one is just to pray and do it. If that's all you want to do, just do that. But I think you get more benefit from documenting. So I suggested, grab a notebook and jot down what you got out of it for the day or whatever. Or if you want to do social media, please use our hashtags. So I tried to simplify it a little bit without killing the power of actually documenting and sharing something. So whatever you choose, try to keep it pretty simple, I would think. And then how long are you going to do it for? What's your duration? 90 days is, as I say, 90 days. So it's hard for some people to keep up with a 90-day challenge. So you may do something shorter if you want. It's just up to you. And remember, you're going to have to keep up with it too. So if you're not used to consistency, and by nature, I'm not a consistent person. I usually hire virtual assistants to make my businesses consistent because I'm like popping with ideas. But with this thing, I can do it because it's more about being inspired. And that's more my wheelhouse. Okay. So I just have to come up with something inspirational every day, which is not as hard for me as, say, some kind of really redundant bookkeeping thing, like balance your checkbook every day or something like that. Those are two different things for me. So come up with something that you can do and maybe stretch yourself just a little bit so you learn consistency. It's a great way to learn consistency, to make yourself do something for a certain period of time. And consistency is really the biggest secrets to success in business, in my opinion. It's definitely been a good thing for me to develop over the years. Are you going to post to your Facebook page? And if so, which are you going to use, your business page, your personal wall? I could be using my Marnie Pearson Coons business page, but I just know that the business pages don't get as much juice as the personal page. And I'm less about worrying about building that page as I want to get the message out. So I know I'm probably getting a lot more visibility on my personal wall. And that's why I'm doing it there, even though I can't really track views. You're not going to be able to get any statistics on how many, well, you can see how many views, but you can't capture the audience. So there's a little bit of a downside. What you could do, and what I may end up doing, is reposting the video to the business page, download it, repost it to the business page, and then put some tracking on that so that I capture the audience. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing with these. So how are you going to do your challenge? How are you going to keep people informed? Are you going to use your email? Is it just going to be sending out by email? Is it going to be Facebook Lives? Or maybe you're just going to do text posts or text with images? Or I still say visibility-wise, text alone is better than text with an image on it. But you can go back and add an image later after you get some juice. You can edit it and add an image if you want. Are you going to do maybe Instagram videos? Those would be really short. Like if your challenge was just to make I think their limit is a minute now on an Instagram video. You could do that, or something else. I mean, get creative. How are you going to do this? Will your challenge be open to the public, or is it going to be a private group only? So like with Donna, you may do it with the book buyers. They have to buy a book to be able to participate in your challenge, and you're going to give them support on that end of it. So think about whether you want yours just out there for everybody. Is it a marketing? Is it a visibility thing? Or is it a way to maybe draw people into buying your book, draw people into a deeper connection with you after they've gotten your book or some intro product that you have? So think about that. What's your objective, basically, for doing the challenge? Is it to upsell people, or is it to get the visibility? I guess is kind of the choice there. Things that you're going to need to set up probably, and you can do as much or as little of what I'm going to show you, or you might do more than what I'm showing you here, but I think it's good to have a YouTube channel if you're doing Facebook Lives, and to take those, download them. I just record my Facebook Live and I immediately download it and stick it up on YouTube. So I get the visibility on YouTube, and then I can take the YouTube video and embed it in my blog. Now you can embed a Facebook Live video into your blog too. You don't have to use YouTube. It's just, I want the extra visibility on YouTube as well. You may need to set up a special Facebook page, but I really don't recommend it. I mean, I think all three of you, you are your brand, and Donna, there may be, you probably wouldn't put the mindset thing on your poker coach page or something. So you may need a page, and you may already have one for Mind Shift on Demand or whatever, but decide which page you're going to use. And if you just have something that doesn't fit at all, then you may need to make a Facebook page. Think about whether you want to do a Facebook.
Marnie?
Yeah.
Sorry, could you go through that again? So you download it to your computer and then upload it to YouTube.
Uh-huh.
But you were saying something about Facebook Lives can be put straight on your blog or something. Could you review that?
Yeah. So like, let's see, it has to be public. So let me see if I can get it here. You would click this ... This is one of my videos. And you would go to embed. And that gives you the embed code.
Okay.
So you could use that embed code in your WordPress blog.
Okay.
But I do the ... and hit, let me see. Where's the download? Oh, I think you have to make it big. It may start playing, and I'll try to stop it as soon as I can.
Whatever. So
okay, so I'm going to pause that. Yeah, I think you have to make it big. You hit the ... there, and then there's the download video.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't have done that. Nah, stop it. Can I pause it? Cancel. I don't want to do that. Okay.
Thanks. I'm going to mute myself again.
Okay. Let me go back. Okay, so like I have a Facebook group for mine. I already had a Light the World Facebook group from when I did the book launch. So I took that group and just repurposed it into this. And I used it last year and I got some new people in it, but I didn't really keep any kind of activity going in that group. This year, I'm pushing the group from the get-go, and I'm trying to create more engagement inside the group. So it may be that as you do your challenge, you may do it the first time and you do certain elements, you've got them set up, and then the next time you might run that thing again and you might go deeper with it, or you might can learn from my my experiences and just do it right the first time. So this time I've pushed the group, and I've got a lot more people joining the group from the get-go. So I'm going to try to keep them more involved this year than I did last year. If you want a specific Instagram, especially for your challenge, you might consider that. It's not too hard to switch between Instagram's accounts on your phone if you need to. There's usually a little thing on there to switch. So, but I'm just doing mine all through the one main one. I don't want to have to keep up with a second Instagram account. So, and the Pinterest, you might set up a special Pinterest board. So like I have a Light the World Pinterest board on my Pinterest account. If you don't have a Canva account, even a free one, I would get one of those because that's going to come in handy. And then as far as equipment goes, let me see. I picked up this little lapel mic. I don't think I paid very much for it at all. I can't remember exactly. I got it on Amazon. Let me stop the share and I'll show you. This thing's made a big difference in my sound, I've noticed. Because I like to record outside, and there's always birds and wind and all this other stuff. So this little guy just goes on here, and then the other end of it just goes in my iPhone. And then it has these couple extra jacks. So, and then it comes with another cord and a little pouch here. So that if Dave and I wanted to do one together or something, he could have a mic and I could have a mic. So I intentionally got the one where we both could be on, because sometimes we do them together. So
will this plug into your computer too?
You know, I've tried to get it to work with the Zoom, and it's not doing it. I don't know. I think it's supposed to, but I don't know whether it's my jack or.
Well, you know, you have two different jacks.
Yeah, I tried it in both of them just in case.
Okay. I know, because I
don't know. I haven't had time to play with it a lot. I tried it one time before one of my Marketing Monday things, and I couldn't get it to work, and so I just forget it, and then I forgot completely after that. So, but yeah, I think it's supposed to do that.
Thank you.
All right, so let me go back. And a good webcam would be good if you decide to do it from your, like sitting somewhere from your computer, because you could do the Facebook Lives that way. I finally went out and picked up a $34 Logitech. Let me see, the day I got tired of being fuzzy. So Logitech C525. It was like, I don't know, $33 or something off Office Depot. It's cheaper on Amazon, but I wanted it today, and I figured it was worth the extra $3 to just go ahead and have it. So it's an 8 MP, so 8 megapixel, 720 DPI. There's better ones if you want something crisper or whatever, but I just wanted something basic. So that could come in handy if you just want to do it from your computer instead of a phone or something. Okay, so that's the basic stuff. So then I thought I would show you what I've got set up. So kind of the process in the visual form. Okay, so the first day I did it like I did something different, I think, which is making it work nicely this time. I'm getting more interest. Is because I did it the first year and I saw some really amazing results, I kind of documented, okay, I did this thing last year and this is how my life changed, you know, and if you want your life to change, maybe you ought to try this too, kind of thing. So it gave more credibility to what I was asking people to do. And then I give them the steps in here. I edited this after I did the video. I think I just had maybe the first paragraph when I started the video. And then I came in and put these extra steps. I went ahead and put the website for them to get support. And, well, that's the group, sorry. I put the Facebook group, and then I put the website here. And I told them there was a way to subscribe to get the notifications. So let me go here to the, I may already have that up. Didn't need to do that. So I have a website that's specifically about this challenge. And it was a blog that I've had this Light the World Now site for a long time, probably since 2009 or 2010, something like that. And it was a blog. So I just redid it, put a description on the challenge there, a place to sign up, my video to introduce it, a quick how it works, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got links to the blog posts here. So there's day 1, day 2. So what I did with the first day is I took that same video, put it on YouTube, and embedded it down here. And this is pretty much the same thing as I posted over here. So I didn't really get too creative. I just took that information, put it onto the blog. Donna, you could do this with yours if it's around your book, or Carolyn, if you did something around your journalific, or even Judy, around your Rise Up, if you did a Rise Up challenge or something. I did a thing with like the book that started the movement, and this links over for them to buy the book. And then I gave them the quick links to the Facebook group and my Facebook page. And this is an AWeber form that automatically emails these people whenever I post a new post. So if I post something new, these people are going to get an email blast about it through AWeber.
How does AWeber do that?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It's been a while since I set it up, so hopefully I can.
You're welcome.
Remember how to tell you really fast. Let me get the right list. There it is, 90-day challenge. Okay, so it is blog broadcast right here. So here's the blog broadcast, and I'm just going to hit edit and hope it doesn't deactivate it or anything. Okay, so you give it your RSS feed, which is almost always your domain with /feed after it, or wherever your blog is located. So if your blog is if my blog was at lighttheworldnow.com/blog, then I would need to put /blog/feed. But you can test this and make sure you got it right by just copying that, and that's what it looks like. It's just going to look something weird like that, or if you've got something that lets you do an RSS feed, it'll do something like that where you can subscribe to it. Okay, so if it doesn't do that and it shows just a blank page or file not found, then you've got the wrong feed, and I'm not really sure what you do about that if that doesn't work. Talk to your hosting provider or tech rep or something. Okay, so then I just picked one of their templates that they have, and so it's going to look like this over here. We're going to have the headline and the blog post and stuff. I didn't mess with any of this stuff. I just left it the way they had it. And I have it set to go every day. But you could pick, if you wanted on a specific day of the month to send updates. Or you could do it when the number of items is at least a certain number of them. I've got it set to send automatically. have it tracking the links. I'm enabling my social share, so it's automatically archiving over on, it's going out through, I think I have it where it does not post, but you could change it. I could make it post to one of these, like that page there. But since I'm manually doing these and I like the way they look when I do them better than I like this thing, I'm not posting there. And then if you preview it, it didn't show you a whole lot. That's kind of how it looks. So like here's, yeah, this would show me previous ones. That's the one I did yesterday, I guess. Oh no, it's just showing the blog posts it sent out. It's not showing the actual email. It's telling me the item that got sent.
So does it send out every time you put a new blog post out, it sends?
Yeah, but you can do it like one of them that I post to a lot more frequently, I have it set to go like on Thursdays or something, on Tuesdays and Thursdays or something. So it doesn't, they're not getting hammered every day. With this one, I wanted it to do daily because we're doing a 90-day challenge. So normally I have it just set to go a couple times a week or something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me see. Go back here. Okay, so once you've got it here, so like I have them posted on my personal wall just as the video, but then I take and I repost it, I share the video over into the group, and you want to welcome people when they join and, you know, maybe ask them to tell about themselves and stuff like that. Just I started getting so many that I thought I better maybe do one post that invites multiple people or they're going to get tired of seeing those. So that one I did a couple people at once. So so you can share your video that way, or let me show you my business page. This one, this is actually from Instagram right here. I posted over to Instagram and they don't give you the option, like you can't even click links on Instagram. But I have my Instagram connected back over to my Facebook wall, on my Facebook page, business page. So it streams over, and when it does, then that does become a hyperlink over in Facebook. So that's one reason why I go ahead and include it. But the image is not click. I mean, you click it, it just becomes big. You have to click there. I'll show you another way I post too. Sorry, it's slow. Okay, so that one I posted directly, the blog post. And that's, you know, if I click that, that's going straight over to the blog post. And that one's like day one. So if that's again, and that's an Instagram. So it's got it embedded in there.
Marnie, how many days do you plan ahead before you start so you don't feel like you're rushing?
You're asking the queen of do it on the fly. I mean,
hey, I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah, I saw where I did it the year before. It came through in my Facebook reminder feed, you know, that, oh, I started this on May 19th. I was like, I should do it again. It was 11 o'clock at night. So I just shared that video and said, I'm starting this tomorrow. And Dave said, you need to give me a couple days. I want to participate, but I need a couple days. I'm like, sorry, I've already done it. So it's like, You know, if I was really smart and thought things through, then I would give myself maybe a week or two to make these decisions that we're talking about here, you know. And of course, see, it was easy for me to restart something I'd already done. All this stuff was done, you know. I didn't have to rethink it all. But if, you know, if you want to do it with a couple weeks notice, then you could come up with some, sorry, I'm going to stop the share for a second. You could, I would recommend doing all that stuff ahead of time. So that's done. You're not coming up with that. Maybe come up with some themes of what you're going to talk about. Like with yours, Donna, you've got your 40 days. So you've got kind of something outlined, and maybe each of you have something from your book that you could just go back to your book and say, I'm going to do day one on this thing that, you know, and just make a calendar of what you're going to do on each day. And you could create all your images and stuff ahead of time. Where, see,
Marnie, what did you say the first thing was that you suggested to her? Was it like the posts or something? Sorry, I got a phone call.
What did I say? I don't know what you missed.
Well, you said you could do that first and then, and I missed the what was first.
Oh, that list of stuff that I said to figure out. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Get all that set up. And then maybe get a list of what you're going to talk about on each day. You know, if you were trying to make it coincide with your book, it wouldn't be hard to do that.
Right.
I mean, I'm kind of doing whatever the spirit moves me, so it's I don't do it ahead. So, but if you did it ahead, then you could make some images
right
ahead to go with each of the days, and then you'd be ready to go. You could just record it, put your images up, and run with it that way.
Marnie, earlier you had said, if I heard it right, that you can post without images, and actually a post without images is a better post?
Did you get more juice out of it? Yeah. No links, no images, just straight text. If it's a good post, and now given that it's engaging. If it's something engaging, it will get streamed way better and more responses than something with an image, or with, definitely keep a URL out of it.
So it's like I had said, I'm thinking about a course. One was about to help speakers sell from stage. And then another one was, I'm thinking about a course for nurses and doctors. And I didn't have, and I, you know, went through a story, and the engagement was, you're right, the engagement was strong. The one about the speakers, it dusted me, by the way. It like blew me. I went, whoa.
Yeah.
The one about nurses and for in the healthcare industry wasn't as interactive. And that's when I said, I think I need to talk with them. That's when my heart went into overtime. Okay, you got to go to the hospital.
So were you able to talk to anybody while you were there?
I did 5 days of survey.
Oh, okay.
I literally did. I said, hey, this is what happened last week. Here's my book. I sold 7 books in the hospital, by the way, to nurses and one doctor. I didn't go here buy my book, but just before, listen, the doctor that came in just before they were doing the cardio version, he said, your name is Donna Blevins Weitzel, because I stick the Weitzel on 3 years ago, because I said, well, I might as well honor him after 30 years. But I put it on with a hyphen. And they take the hyphen out in the hospital database. So Blevins Weitzel put together is 14 letters, and it's like, what?
Oh.
Like he came and said, you know, how do I call you? And I said, just call me Coach. And he said, well, what kind of coach? And I said, well, I'm a mindset coach. And he said, the doctor said just before he did the conversion, he said, I really need that. I said, come talk to me later. Well, he did. And he came in and he was exhausted, and it was he didn't get to me right away, but he got to me towards the end of the stay. And literally I said, are you off the clock? And he said, I can be. I said, so sit down, we'll do a coaching session. Literally, he told me what his problems was. It had to do with relationships. And we did literally the doctor, we're reversing roles. It was astonishing because I asked him to rate where he was before he did a mind. The hum isn't that interesting. That's the one I use in that situation. And he went from an 8 to 4, in this traumatic situation. And he said, this is wonderful. He said, we really need this. I said, well, you're talking about relationships. Do you need this concept with healthcare? He said, absolutely. He said, because when somebody's in crisis, you can't say, like you said with a poker hand, you can't say, excuse me, please, I'll go meditate for half an hour and then come back and make a decision. We can't do that. We have to make decisions. And he said, stress is the biggest problem in healthcare. And when he came in with his hatchlings, he was like the top of the chain, the biggest doctor, and then under him, and then under him. He was like 2 tiers down, but there were like a whole bunch under him. So he came in with his hatchlings, and they're like this, they're like, and he walked in the door. He pulls out a $20 bill and hands it to me in front of his doctors and said, here, this is for the book. And he turned to them and said, you really need this book. And this, I said, here, have a book and tell them why. I wish I'd had the camera going. Anyway, so yeah, I constantly did, I'd say I was actually in the critical care unit in cardiac critical care because they were monitoring this very delicate prescription medication. And they have to monitor it all the time when they call it loading, when you start taking medication. And since it's the critical care, the nurses don't have 6 or 8 patients. They have 2 to 3 patients. So they have more time they can spend with the patients. They'll come in and they want to loiter because they want you to feel like you're taken care of better rather than just, abandoned. And I'd go, I'm doing a survey. And you tell me what the biggest challenge you have as a nurse or as a healthcare, whatever, usually nurses I talked with. And they would start, I had my book out and they would start spewing and I'd start taking notes. So yeah, I got my survey.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And I even talked to the head nurse, and I talked with a case manager who's the one that works. You know what a case manager is? Case manager works between the patient and social services and coordinating everything. And she liked it so much. She said forgiveness was her biggest problem. She brought me in this beautiful bit of that she had written and emailed to herself, and she printed it out for me, and it said forgiveness. And I said, well, I have a chapter on forgiveness. She read it that night, came in the next day, gave me another $20 bill and said, my friend needs this. So I said, what I need is I need testimonials from you, from other people in healthcare, so I can take it to the administration to prove to them that this needs to be available to nurses. So
cool.
I got my toe in the door. More than my toe.
She threw her heart into it.
The last time you saw me, I was like, just, I was so upset because my heart was going. I was so emotional. So anyway, you see,
that's the title of your blog post. My heart was in it.
Ooh, my heart was in it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway, do I look different than the last time you saw me?
Look a little chipper, more chipper.
I look chipper.
Yeah. Well, let me see if there was anything else I need to show you on this. Oh, I did do some Pinterest pins. So I made a couple of those. I'm trying to do one for each day. And Instagrams, showed you those. So that is pretty much, I think that's pretty much it. Any questions on that? Comments? Are you going to do your own, or are you just, Judy, you asked something about being able to easily identify if you do the 90-day challenge with me. You might make your own hashtag of something like Judy LTW or something like that, where it's just yours. And then that way, when you click it, there's not going to be anything but yours. And you could add that on to the end of it.
Well,
I am using Light the World now on this one instead of Light the World because of the other hashtag it uses.
okay. Well, I think we put both Light the World and Build the Kingdom as 2 hashtags last year.
Yeah, I did have that 90-day LTW challenge. You might look for that. I don't think anybody else would have been using that one.
All right.
Can't find your post. I might see if I can. Am I sharing the screen? I'm not, am I? Let me go back.
Well, see, you're saying the same words that I'm saying. I can't find the post.
Okay, so if you go Judy Reed 90-day, did you use this one?
I did all of the hashtags.
Did you find all these?
No, I think I did not put in the search bar what you just did. So that I'm going to write that down because sometimes you need the key words and those are it apparently.
Yeah, you can put, like when I want to see just my stuff or something, I'll put my name and then I'll put the hashtag or the phrase, you know, if I know I talked about some thing, I'll put my name and then whatever I'm looking for. And you can usually find most of the stuff. It looks like you got quite a few here.
Like 90 days worth, Marnie.
Yeah. They don't
I
seem
mean,
to be in order.
I did do the 90 days. I was committed to those 90 days, so I understand what you're saying, and it is. And then what I wanted to do was make an ebook out of it, but I realized I can't put the videos. Well, maybe, yeah, I don't think
You could put a link to the videos in the ebook.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's a nice little ebook. And it could be free. I mean,
yeah, another option for you might be, if you want to get it all downloaded, is if you go here and like go to your profile, click that ... go to timeline settings, and where is that at? Maybe that's not where it is. There's this place where you can download your stuff. There it is. Download your information. I think that will download, unless it's just your basic information. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's it. So you can download your posts, all this stuff. You can choose all of it between any 2 dates or just all of it.
wow, that's a gold mine to have found out.
It's going to download as a zip file, and there's different documents inside of it. So you may have to click around to see what's what, but all your posts will be there, all your photos. I think it even downloads your videos. Let me see. I don't know if it does your videos. Let me see.
After the 3 dots, where did you find that, Marnie?
Yeah, let me go back. Okay, so I went to the dots, and then come on, timeline settings, and then your Facebook information. and then download your information. So if you click that, it's going to download it. And I think it may take a little bit, and then it will send you, it may send you an email or something saying, you know, click here to get it, or I can't remember. I would do it, but it's going to slow down my video, so I don't want to do that. So just click that and follow whatever directions it says after that. I think it's mainly just, I think it does send you an email when it's ready or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, so specifically, if we're talking about LTW and Kingdom, whatever, would that be listed as a separate listing? Because I'm seeing posts and photos and videos. Well, see, I did all three. So would I have to go to all three and pull it out, or is it going to be all in one place for that particular hashtag?
I was going to try to find my download maybe of that and show you what it looks like, but I downloaded one somewhere.
Because 90 is a lot, and particularly with
Yeah,
the variety.
it's going to be one long document with all your stuff in it. So you're going to have to use like a search feature, you know, like Control F is search, and just search down through it. Let me stop this share here. I'm just going to look for it while we're talking, in case I can find.
Marnie, are the three dots in a group? Can you go to a group and have the same thing, like in a group? There's an area where you can download stuff.
I don't know. You could try it and see.
Yeah, because I keep going back to groups and I go, oh, I want that, so I copy it and paste it and say and you have to be sure how you paste it, or it's going to get all weird. Like paste it to the destination, whatever you're going, so it looks just normal.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a lot of time to do that. And if there's some way that you can do it by downloading and having a document, that's just amazing.
So do you?
Here's
do you
the
paste it
Facebook.
into Word? Where do you paste it, Donna?
I'm sorry, what, Judy?
Well, either anybody, once you copy it, let's talk about 90 days. Would you put
I'm sorry.
document?
I open up a Word document if I'm going to copy the information. I open up a Word document on my computer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll, have to go to each post, and I'll copy that post and then paste it into a Word document.
One by one.
Yeah. So doing this by.
Yeah, I don't know whether they've got that function in here. Unless it downloads with your account, possibly. I don't know. Let me show you what it does. It gives you this zip file like Facebook, Marnie Pearson zip. So I'm going to look at that and see what we got. So the HTML, your messages, that's like your instant messages that you sent to people. Photos, and I guess it does have videos. There they are. Okay, so let me go into HTML. Timeline. I don't see anything about groups, so it's probably just your timeline.
So that's going to be opening up into a browser.
Yeah, it's an HTML file. So it's going to be one long document with all of your posts in it. It's going to be huge. Okay, so there it is.
So how would you take that over to a Word document?
I could drag over and copy it, I guess. So I'm going to do Control F for find and type in, let's see, 90-day Light the World. There's Light the World Challenge. So you could drag that. and you just hit the next thing and it's just going to go. There they are. So it's mainly just got the text part of it here. But that would be an easier way to grab it than having to hunt through Facebook online. The photos, let's see how that does. It's probably gonna.
That's not going to open because you opened the file that was the HTML file that was the timeline. There's a separate file there's a separate.
Yeah, I thought it might hyperlink to them though, but it may not since it's in a zipped deal. Probably doesn't know to do that. I don't know if it really downloaded your. I guess this is the link to your videos. Let's see what this does.
Yeah, because it's not very big.
Yeah, this is probably just the text associated with the videos. So it's not, this is maybe the comments and the stuff on videos. So some of it's not as useful as others, I guess.
Well, I like the conversations. I like the responses that people gave to the post.
Yeah, let's see what photos does. This is literally the photos, I think. Probably. I don't know why they're not previewing, but that's not very helpful.
Well, it's probably not previewing if your RAM's being occupied right now.
It could be. Maybe that's it. But the images are there anyway.
Well, you're talking about using Rise Up. Oh, that's on mute. You're talking about considering using Rise Up. I'd love that. It would require a lot of thinking on my part. But it sounds like it could be fun, beneficial, etc. So if anybody has any ideas about that, because see, my book is just totally scripture. So unless I took, and it's 71 days, but anyway, it's all scripture, so it's a little bit harder.
Well, you could expound upon each scripture for 71 days.
I know, but then that makes me try to know more about the scripture than just dapping it on a page, and there's a lot of lack of confidence there. I've always said I wanted to be a woman of the word, but if somebody challenges me on that, it's.
Well, just talk about your experience with it, and nobody can argue with your personal experience with something.
Yeah, keep it simple. You don't have to do like, you have to be 100 words
historian or something.
Yeah, keep it simple. Set it up so you do only 2 sentences, a maximum of 2 sentences. Set yourself some boundaries, and that might help you, because that's helped me when I'm trying to do a post, because I keep going on and on. I'm going, oh, wait a minute, got to stop that, because that's more like a chapter in a book than something that belongs on Facebook. So how can I say that in a few words?
Mm-hmm.
And it always helps me to do posts in a Word document rather than, as I know Miss Action Taker does here, she does it right into Facebook. I know that. The Get It Done Queen, which I adore. I absolutely adore. And by the way, I'm actually today in 4 hours, I'll be speaking at NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness. And I'll be sharing them. Isn't that interesting? And I've created a 3-page handout. I don't know if I'd shared this with you all before. I've stopped using slides in a presentation because I was getting too controlled by the slides, and it was hard to see, and did the slide go up correctly? So I turned it into a handout. And when somebody writes something down, they hear it, they see you, they write it down, that means it activates all 3 of their learning modes, audio, visual, and experiential. Then they're going to remember the process, and they're going to internalize it more. And at the end of it, I talk about, all you need is 10 minutes a day. Are you worth 10 minutes a day? And they're going, well, yeah. And I had said, well, opt in and we'll do a 40-day, 10-minute a day. I've had them do that. I just haven't activated it yet. I probably have 40 people that have said, or maybe 50 people in the past have said, yeah, we'll do that. I just haven't done it. So basically, I guess I have my seed for my 40-day challenge.
I would say.
Yep.
Well, Donna, I would like to get involved with you in this healthcare thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Because my experience is with Florence Littauer's Personality Plus training. So I'm a certified Personality Plus trainer. But one of the projects that I wanted to get involved in was in the healthcare to help people who go into the healthcare system as a patient understand what the dynamics and personalities are of the people they interact with. So, they're already uptight when they go into, let's say, the ER. Well, if you realize there are people like Marnie who are Energizer bunnies that just want to get things done, but then there's also the side of Marnie that is kind and compassionate and caring. But most people just are looking for somebody to do the kind, compassionate, and caring. So in their critical situation, they overlook how important it is to have somebody who can get her done. And so that would be a training that I would like to see it with what you're doing. And also, like you just found out, for the medical personnel who are working together, it's not just a personality dynamic, although I think that plays into it. So people, I think, are very unfair in the healthcare situation because they don't realize personalities play into it, the critical situation they find themselves in that demands action. And there's thinking is just so skewed. It's very unfair. So I wanted to throw that out. And there were 2 people who were in here with me who come in frequently. Usually it's just one person. Well, today it's somebody who's been coughing, and they have food because they're lunch and it's hot food. And those are 2 things that are triggers for me. So I'm kind of freaking out over here, but I guess I'll say, isn't that interesting, and move on.
Well,
It's interesting. Put that mask back on.
yeah, if someone's coughing, let me tell you what, I have gotten self-protective and actionable with my own self when I am in the hospital, because I realize that my husband is willing to jump in there, but he doesn't have the stamina to do that, but he can't be there 24 hours a day. And, when I almost yelled at a male nurse who had put an IV in, the first IV I had in the ER, and he was coughing. And I usually, if I hadn't felt so under the weather when I finally went in, I would have literally said, "Get away from me. Put on your mask. If you cough again, do not come near me without a mask. Go sanitize your hands." I've done that before. I actually did that when I had my heart procedure last year. And literally, I mean, you have to have a code. a password code. And with permission, Marnie, may I say what my password code is?
You want me to
Maybe
stop
better.
the recording?
Pardon me?
Let me stop the recording.
No, it's okay as long as it's okay with you. It's not the F word. May I? Is it okay, Marnie?
Maybe not. Don't put her in a position.
I
that
don't
she-
know what it is.
It's big bitch. I mean,
Oh,
and when the nurses actually, when they pull up your file, they actually see what your password is. And it would give everybody a chuckle. Well, that helps because that would open up, when people laugh, that opens up their receptivity and that opens up their ability to communicate. So
what is it a password for?
somebody calls in, my husband calls in and wants to know about me, they have to have a password.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mother calls in, she has to know the password. And I called Mother and I said, Mother, I wasn't sure what to use. And she said, well, your word is crap. My mother said that. And I told her the other one and she said, oh, well, that's right too. So it was,
Well,
but
I know how to call in and check on you if I ever need to.
so you can, if you call in, you'll know what the password is. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate this session today because, I did the Light the World like it was set up to, Lord, how can you use, or you can show me how you want to use me today to shine your light in other people's lives. And so to try to relate it to women of value and rise up shifts my thinking into another realm without deserting you and your original intent for it. And
Lay off of it. Go for it. You have my permission to make it work for you.
Well, it's important that we did that together, I think, last time, don't you?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So how do you jump into a 90-day challenge when it's like day 5? How do you do that?
I tell people to just start wherever they are because, it's no big deal. My thing is not building on each other, really. With yours, it might be tricky if one day builds on the other, like if they needed day 1 before they could go to day 2. You could tell them to go back and watch the others or something, but with mine, it's not that big a deal.
Well, each one is an individual, powerful message.
Yeah. I'm curious, Judy, you did the 90-day thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you got something out of it? Did anything shift for you? Anything? Did you see something happen in your life that you might not have correlated to that, or?
Well, I think it keeps a mental attitude and a heart attitude going to, like, one of the things that stands out just at this moment was like I saw let me think how to describe it. It was a very tiny, like a 3-leaf clover that was stuck down in the ground, and there was a light shining on it. And it maybe it's in the shape of a cross, but it was just what I needed to see because I was getting ready to come up here and get my infusion. So to me, looking for little things, you get out of the car, you go do what you're going to do without looking around. But I was looking, so I saw the sun shining on it. So that gave me an assurance of God was with me in that moment. So it wouldn't mean anything to anybody else, but it did to me. But it was part of the 90 days. So for 90 days, it's like, look, because you're going to see that God is there, and he shows you even in this little cross-like green thing in the bottom of the ground near a piece of cement. And then there are always bigger things. So that's what I like so much about it. But I have a friend who is going through a messy divorce. I know nobody can relate to that. She's had to take a job at a store working as a night clerk. So her hours start at 8 at night and goes to 6 in the morning. So I've made a commitment to her for the last several months and continuing to send her some sort of note of encouragement so that she'll get it at 2 o'clock in the morning when she is able to get to her phone. So I feel like right now that is my way of lighting the world, and it does require consistency. And like tonight, I'm thinking, what in the world am I going to send her? We've been doing this for months. And I keep wanting to send her a message saying, I'm dry. I don't have anything to send you. But see, God will show me something to send, even if it's something silly or whatever. So I think that is part of my dilemma now, is that I feel so committed to that I
Then think about a question. I keep thinking that if you think you need to send her something, just send her a question. Whatever, oftentimes a question is the best text to send. Just a thought.
Like, why are you so blessed? Or something like that.
it's going to be something very positive. Yeah.
Like a question that would trigger something positive.
Like,
mm-hmm.
like, why are you so compassionate, or something, like some characteristic of her or something, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think questions have been one of the ways that I've worked with coaching clients for years. And it seems when I think I'm supposed to be able to come up with solutions, what I find is that I don't have the solutions. I'm just the one that helps trigger the solutions in them, because everyone finds their success within themselves.
Well, if you're working with a client, just like the 3-4 of us, we kind of understand each other and where we are. My hesitation, which is probably unfounded, is that if she's in this overnight job, just trying to make money to pay for the attorney, I want to be sure that I don't trigger something that makes the situation worse, but something that blesses her, like you all are saying, telling her.
Well, I think you're focusing on the fact that you might trigger it. I'd like for you just to put that out of your head, because that's not you, honey. You are a blessing, and just set that aside. Set that fear of yours aside, because you are the one of value, and just embrace that, and just realize that.
Sharpie, you're encouraging you.
Judy, look up your things that you were looking up with Marnie today and just send her your 90 days of faithful scripture that is uplifting.
Yeah.
I got to go on mute because it's noisy here.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to run because I have an appointment that I'm late for.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
That's
to
okay. I just
Thank
realized.
you.
So,
Okay. All right.
thanks a lot, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.